Officials in Florida sued TikTok this week over claims the social media platform is violating the state's 18-month-old law barring kids under age 14 from creating accounts. Florida's attorney general says TikTok is allowing underage users on the app, potentially exposing them to violent or sexual content. A TikTok spokesperson says the company has informed Florida users under 14 their accounts will be suspended. Just this week, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced plans to ban children under 16 from using social media apps, live streaming and communicating with strangers. It also places restrictions on gaming sites. This all comes 6 months after Australia implemented the world's first ever social media ban for kids under 16. For more, let's bring in South Australia Premier Peter Malinauskas. He introduced the law that led to the country's ban for kids. First of all, thank you so much for being here with us. Second of all, what kind of changes have you seen over the past 6 months? Is it working?
It is working. There's been over 5 million young people in Australia that have lost access to their social media accounts. Now, that's a big number in the context of a nationwide population of 27 million people. So it's definitely working. But it's also true to say, Lindsay, that a lot of kids, they're pretty intuitive. They find ways around it. So there was a comprehensive nationwide survey done only last month, and it found around about 45% of kids who had access and now lost it were trying to find ways around it, and some of them successfully. But it's also true there's been an uplift in kids participating in sport. We've seen a dramatically uplift in young people reading more, which is a good thing. But most importantly, parents having conversations with their kids about what healthy social media use looks like, which simply wasn't happening earlier.
Well, two follow-up questions on that. Do you know what percentage of the 45% that we're trying to get around were successful? And have you seen any change in your country's education scores from children reading more and being on social media less?
Yeah. The majority of those kids who were trying to find a way around it were. And there are currently some investigations underway from our federal e-safety commissioner looking into platforms such as Facebook and TikTok as to how that is occurring. And they could face very severe sanctions if they haven't fulfilled their responsibilities of making sure that young people aren't on their systems. In terms of schools, in my state, we were the first state in the country to outlaw mobile phones all day during the school day. Kids aren't allowed, as a matter of law, to have their mobile phone on them at all during school, whether it be at recess or lunchtime. And what we've seen since that was introduced is a genuine improvement in school participation. We've had parents, teachers and principals across the state report that there is far more attentiveness in the classroom than what was the case previously. Incidents of bullying and cyberbullying, even violence in the schoolyard, has declined in a measurable way that has been independently assessed. Now, we don't profess for a second that the social media age limit or mobile phones being banned in schools is a silver bullet. Like, ultimately, parents have responsibilities here, but this is just about giving teachers and parents the tools to be able to talk to their kids about these issues.
All right, so quickly, my last question to you is, some parents have actually called this toothless. Do you think, I know that you said that social media companies will be held responsible if they are not holding up their end of the bargain here, but do you think that this has enough teeth? And secondarily, do you have any advice on what you have learned in your own country for any countries looking to implement this in theirs?
Yeah, it's a problem, and kids will find their way around it, and we anticipated that. I mean, these social media platforms do face very severe sanctions in Australia, fines of almost up to $50 million if they are found to breach the law knowingly. And let's wait and see how that plays out. But look, my message is that the real power of these laws is about actually starting a conversation within your country between parents and children about, what addiction looks like and why it should be avoided when it comes to social media use, but also starting a conversation about how we're seeking to regulate the introduction of social media platforms, which is completely re-augmenting a child's upbringing. And when it comes to children, we've got a responsibility to act rather than just sit around and observe a problem, which we now know to be true, which is that excessive, unnecessary social media use can do children harm when it comes to their well-being.
South Australia Premier Peter Malinauskas, thank you for your time.